Hello, and welcome to another episode of Dating in the Wild. And welcome with me today is Angie, my friend Angie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well, trying to stay warm during this now winter season. But your backdrop makes me think, tropical warmth.
It's more of a dream, the tropical background, because it is very, very cold where I'm at right now.
Yes. So tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Angie. I live in Denver. I'm originally from New York City, and I'm an operations manager. I just started a new job.
Excellent, excellent. So, as the audience knows, um, Dating in the Wild is some encouraging stories where people have gotten dates from meeting someone else in person, putting themselves out there. Given COVID and quarantine sheltering in place has kind of changed things. We have had some online dating app stories, but now you have one that's from before COVID.
Pre-COVID, yes.
Oh, yes. Tell us, who is this person? How did you meet them?
Well, this was an ex-boyfriend of mine. We'll call him John. And we met at a nightclub. It was my first night throwing my own party in this room upstairs at the Beta nightclub. It was the Beta Lounge.
Okay.
And it was my first party ever that I was hosting. And I met him there through a friend.
So a friend said, "Hey, Angie, meet John." And that's how you guys met.
And that's how we met. And then I noticed that he was looking at me all night. So I made sure to, pay attention to him. And then after the night was over, I was super happy to see a message from him in my Facebook.
Oh, so he had found you on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay. So then he reached out to you and then what happened?
Then we just started hanging out. The first time we hung out was very innocent. I just went to his house.
Hmm.
I thought
So
he
he
would be,
invited you over?
yes. And he was super cute. So I said yes, expecting him to be different. He was actually very innocent. And all we did was play video games, which I was very shocked. And then when it was time, he gave me a hug. So I thought that was really weird. I was like,
Hmm.
okay, I guess he just likes me as a friend.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was also, I was like, but he was staring at me all night. Like, why was he staring at me
So
like that?
the first
So
first date seemed very platonic.
it did.
Hmm.
Very.
Okay. Interesting. And then did he offer a second date?
Yes. Yes. We went out to eat and he was still very platonic. So I was just very confused. But we liked each other's personality. And then from there, we just started hanging out
Okay.
every day.
Wow, yeah. So you start hanging out every day. You feel like this is a established relationship. When did things become romantic? Because you did say that he eventually was your ex-boyfriend. So when did that line get crossed?
Well, a few weeks into, I mean, we started like making out and stuff like a few days later.
Hmm.
Um, but he was always very respectful. And then he admitted to me that he was a virgin,
Like how old virgin?
25.
Okay. Which, is actually not that bad. I mean, you know, it's like when people hear about 40-year-old virgin that they're like, "Oh, a little shocking." Maybe 25 does seem a little older and by today's standards. I don't know. But yes, so he admitted that to you, and what did you say? How did you feel? What happened?
Well, it explained a lot. I kind of figured that he was because most guys are like over me. I have to like it's annoying.
Mhm.
Um especially like I was telling you before about like the plus size community, like men that go after plus size women are kind of it's almost like a fetish to them. Like
Mm,
they don't even take you, you're just like a body that they're attracted to
yeah,
a lot of times.
Asian women get that as well sometimes.
That's terrible. Men need to
Mhm.
like stop doing that
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because like men will literally just look at you like a piece of meat and they don't even hide it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can't even control themselves.
Yeah.
So this is like something totally different. I've never not been treated like a sexual object before.
Yeah.
So when he told me, I was okay, and I told him I was like I kind of figured that because I could tell by the behaviors or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but I was okay with it.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
like, well, this is something different.
Right. Right. But it took a little bit of you guys hanging out before he admitted that. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I would say like a few weeks.
Mm. Okay. Great. And then, so how how did the relationship transpire? Like, how long did it last? Did it end on good terms? You know.
Well, we were together for almost 2 years.
Oh.
Um, after the first month, he told me that he loved me,
Mm.
but I thought I loved him too.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a different kind of love. Like he
Yeah.
was loving me. Yes, he thought I was beautiful and everything,
Yeah.
but I wasn't being treated like a piece of meat like usual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He loved you for you and not a, a plus size woman.
Yes, like a fetish or whatever. And that felt really great to have someone just like actually love me.
Yeah.
So he lost his virginity to me
Okay.
about 3 months into the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is that I wasn't pressuring him or anything. I was actually enjoying this new type of relationship that I've never been in before.
Yeah.
And I was enjoying it. Um, but he was very threatened by a lot of things. He was threatened because I was a promoter at like one of the top nightclubs in the
Sure.
country. So he
Yeah.
was threatened that I was always talking to guys, and those guys, most of the time it was just DJs that we were just talking about business.
Sure.
But he was threatened by that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he thought that I was going to cheat on him or that he would lose me if he didn't give me sex, even though I never pressured him about it.
Yeah. It's like
So,
pressure in his own mind.
yes,
He
yes,
sold stories to himself about why he should take the take the jump into the deep end.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we were together for 2 years.
Yeah.
It did not end well at all.
Sorry, that happens.
It's okay. He suffered like mental health issues like depression and stuff. And I'm a very like happy, positive person. And he
Yeah.
was just really dragging me down.
Yeah. I feel
You,
you.
like you feel someone, you're a partner with someone, you feel their pain, you feel their
Hmm.
emotions.
Yeah. But my friend has told me before it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all.
That is true.
Yeah.
And plus, it taught me that I can be loved in other ways.
Yes.
Like, I'm not just a piece of meat. Like, someone can actually love me for my personality
Mm-hmm.
and not my body. So, there was a lesson in this,
Yeah.
even though it ended very, very badly. And I told him that I would always be there for him,
Mm-hmm.
but that he better not date any of my friends. And then I found out that he did screw one of my friends.
Oh no.
And this is like a person he didn't even like.
Oh.
Like, that's the crazy thing. But he told me later on that they bonded because they had both gone through, they were both broken from a
Mhm.
breakup.
Sure.
So I haven't heard from him since because, I told him I'd be there for him unless he did something like that, which he did.
Which he did. Well, yes, it's best not to commingle those circles of friends, when after, when breakups happen. So, yeah, he did not hold up his end of the bargain. And was he a plus size community member as
No,
well? Okay.
no, he wasn't.
Okay. What is dating like in the plus size community? Because I believe you're one of probably my first guests to mention that or, discuss that as a dating realm.
Yes, I feel like a lot of the guys that go after plus size women,
Mhm.
and mind you, most of my boyfriends that I've had, I've been like their first plus size girlfriend.
Oh.
Um, but that's because that's my boyfriend and they became my boyfriend for a reason. But as far as the dating is concerned,
Mhm.
like the men are just disgusting.
Oh no.
It literally look at you like a piece of me. I've gone on dates with guys that it literally just like grunted and stared me down the whole time like I was a steak and didn't even bother to like get to know me at all. And I'll just leave. Like,
Mm,
I'm not at that point, I don't need to be polite because you're being disgusting.
yeah.
And I feel like it's okay for me to be like, you know what? I'm out of here.
Mm.
That's happened a lot.
Understandable. Very understandable.
It's almost like, I don't know if it's like a fetish for them. And
Sometimes it
like,
can be. Yeah.
right. And then like when I meet guys and they'll be like, oh, I love plus size women. I'm like, is it a fetish for you? Or is, not most of them are like, oh yeah, it's just my preference. Like, what do you mean by fetish? I'm like,
Mhm.
are you gonna stare me down like a piece of meat when we meet up, or you can actually talk to me?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. So what's nice about this story is that a friend introduced you two at this particular event, and I have had stories in the past where friends are usually a person who introduces this person you end up dating or going on dates with. And I feel like a lot of times that's a good way to date in a way because you usually trust that friend, or they introduce you to people, but they would tell you whether or not to date this person. So,
Oh, definitely. He
so,
was so excited. The friend,
mhm,
when we told him that we were officially a couple, he was
yeah,
just so happy. Gave us the biggest hug.
that's great. But I guess
Um,
initially he didn't have the intentions of introducing you guys to set you guys up. It was just more like a,
oh, here's my friend. Yes,
yes, okay. Well, yeah, awesome. That's awesome that he was excited that it it turned out well.
yes. I wasn't sure how many people would receive because like
Mhm.
we were like complete opposites. Like I was a lot older than him. He was white, blonde hair, blue eyes. I'm not white. He
You're not a
came from a
person.
Christian home, a strict Christian home. It was just like we were like polar opposites, really.
Interesting.
But it still worked. Like,
Yeah.
we barely ever fought. We
Mm,
only fought when he was just like really down on himself because then he would get very nasty
mm,
with me and other people.
yeah.
Like when we broke up, it wasn't just me. Like a lot of his friends stopped talking to him because he was just like in a very dark place.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hmm.
I feel bad that I couldn't support. I tried supporting for a few years, but
Yeah.
when someone is just very nasty, I just can't deal with that.
Right. Understandable. Well, exciting. I know this obviously is a story that predates COVID, but We thank you so much for sharing, and hopefully, this still encourages people that they can meet someone through perhaps a friend. Even now, during these times, that's still possible, even though we're not getting out as much. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story, Angie. Any last words to share with the audience?
Um, just remember that you deserve to be loved the way that you deserve to be the way that you want to be loved.
Yes. So true. So true. Goodness. So take that with you, audience. That's very important. Thank you so much. Thank you all for tuning in. And we'll catch you next time on Dating in the Wild. Bye bye.
Bye.